A retired soldier puts on his uniform again, medals of honor hanging from his chest. In the pouring rain, he walks to his wife's grave, swearing to do something he has no choice but to do. He's determined to make the military pay a heavy price. It all goes back to 20 years ago, when General Hammer's Marines died heroically on a mission. But because the mission was classified, the Pentagon chose to cover up the truth. Not only did they deny the fallen soldiers their medals, they didn't give their families any compensation. They didn't even get a proper military funeral. For 20 years, General Hammer tried everything, trying to get compensation for the families of his men, but the military refused to take responsibility to help his men get the honor and compensation they deserved. General Hammer drove into a military base. Meanwhile, his men quietly surrounded the base, shooting a crossbow bolt into the outer wall, then climbing the rope to slip inside. Soon, the general had the entire base under control. He opened the gates to the Navy's weapons vault, planning to steal VF nerve gas missiles. These missiles, if detonated, would spread deadly nerve gas through the air. Hammer then took 13 missiles and headed to Alcatraz Island, near San Francisco. He placed the missiles around the island, ready to launch a deadly strike on San Francisco at any moment. Alcatraz was once the most feared prison in America, holding some of the country's most dangerous criminals. But now, it's a tourist attraction. A group of tourists was touring the old cells when they were suddenly taken hostage by General Hammer. 81 tourists became his prisoners. Hammer then gathered his men, veterans from the Vietnam War and the Gulf War, and told them this operation would be considered treason. They were going to use the gas missiles to blackmail the Pentagon for $1 billion. Everyone in the room would get $1 million, then escape to another country. After everything was ready, the general called the U.S. government, demanding that the Pentagon transfer $1 billion to a specific account within 40 hours. Otherwise, he would launch the gas missiles at San Francisco. The Pentagon immediately called an emergency meeting. Because the U.S. military never backs down from threats, they decided to use force to retake Alcatraz.